What is up, guys? Oh. If I had a professional streaming setup, I would be playing those dollar sounds, dollar bills, and dollar whatever, like ting, 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 ting. It's like a bloody casino in here, man. We are printing money, guys. It is absolutely ridiculous. Good to be back, guys, and fantastic to see you all again. Hope everybody's doing fantastic and glad to have you here back on stream, where once again we're going to be sharing some value with all of you because this smile, guys, today, not even somebody who's going to spam gold in the chat can get this smile off my face today, man. We are eating good tonight, indeed, manny man. Tonight I am going to eat some steak, some sushi, and I'm gonna have some champagne, and I'm gonna have some ice cream, and then I'm gonna watch a movie, and I'm gonna relax, man. Guys, this week has been absolutely crazy, man. And sorry for my enthusiasm, guys, but to be honest, no sorry for my enthusiasm, because my enthusiasm is justified, guys, because today is a bloody beautiful day to be watching the TTA YouTube videos. Guys, I don't know if you watch the Daily Market Outlook. I hope everybody here watches the Daily Market Outlook. Guys, who watches the Daily Market Outlook in here? Everybody watch the Daily Market Outlook, or are there people who do not watch the Daily Market Outlook, guys? Because if you do not watch the Daily Market Outlook, man, you are missing out on some steak. Absolutely ridiculous, guys. Man, NZD USD, that thing made me wait like a little boy, but it came through, and that's the most important part. I gave her my number. She said she was gonna call back. 2 weeks. I hear nothing. And then today, suddenly, she decides to call me back. So yeah, I mean, life is good, man. Life is good, guys. And obviously now, without jokes, it's been an amazing week in the market again. Literally today's YouTube video title was I'm gonna sell EURUSD to zero. Obviously, I'm not going to sell EURUSD to zero, but another beautiful drop in towards the downside. Guys, I hope everybody knows Oscar in the community, because Oscar actually got max allocation today with the trading pit after taking a sell position here from this area of supply on the 4-hour time frame with his stops above the highs, targeting a new low. And again, you can see he squeezed out that 1 to 3 risk to reward. An absolute beautiful position, guys. Now, again, don't forget to leave a like on the stream, and I'm just going to walk you through the pairs at the moment, because as of now, we've seen EURUSD run a little bit back. We have a speech from the European Central Bank in around 5 minutes, so let's hope this Lagarde doesn't talk some crap, which is going to make EURUSD fly. But as far as I can see, it makes 99% sense that we are going to take out these equal lows and push at least towards these two lows here as well. I was behind my camera. Towards these two lows as well. So I still see EURUSD pushing down a little bit lower. This is just for me a temporary candle, and I still see the momentum continuing down lower, like for example on a GBPUSD, which guys, who remembers GBPUSD? Who remembers GBPUSD, like, for the past, what is it, since September? It's now, what, October? For the past 1.5 months. Who has been selling the hell out of GBPUSD with me, man? Guys, this whole move down of like 530 pips, we've been talking about it every single bloody day. Like, sometimes on the market outlook, I also just didn't really know what to say, because I was just feeling like I was just repeating myself every single day. But have I not preached that we were in the impulsive phase here on GU? And look where we are now, man. We are now literally at the new lower low. Fantastic. We're now in the overall amber zone, as I like to call it. So we're at the overall break of structure line. So obviously from here, you now want to be a little bit more cautious, because at any point in time, can the market start to make an overall pullback? But as long as your USD heads down lower, then obviously it makes sense for GBPUSD to head down lower as well. Now, when we look at the lower time frame here on EURUSD, being the 4-hour time frame, we can still see that on the 4-hour time frame we are in our impulsive phase. So when we look at the impulsive phase, we are in it at the moment, because if we look at the market structure, we had the push down, we had the pull back up, push back down, pull back up, push back down, pull back up, and then we had another push in towards the downside. Okay, so what I'm now looking for is obviously for it to head towards the break of structure line, because after that break of structure line, that's where the orange zone starts. So this is also where I'll be taking profits off the table on EURUSD around this blue dotted line and this black dotted line. Now, the dollar index, guys, that thing has been flying as well, like a bloody rocket ship. It's now taken obviously some liquidity, so it's not strange that we're currently seeing a reaction. For myself, it still makes sense for the dollar to continue its overall leg hub higher. Yes, it can manipulate around these highs. Keep that in mind. It could maybe just move back down, take out this low, and then, for example, head up higher, or it just continues shooting up in towards the highs. Last time as well, when we took out this high here, you also saw some slowdown, and then after that, we kind of like continued our overall leg up higher. Also, when we took out this liquidity high here, then also here you saw some slowdown. After then, we continued pushing up higher. So for myself, I'm just following the dollar index order flow. And based on the overall order flow, for me, it still makes sense to push up higher towards this high that we have over here of the 1st of September. This is a news high, and I would love to take that out in the near future. So let's see. I'm waiting for a strong candle close here on Dixie, on dollar index. And then obviously this here is demand, and I'll be looking for that more upside here from the dollar index, just following the overall immediate order flow and the overall immediate momentum that we obviously have, right? So based on that, what I'll do is I'll continue shorting EURUSD. So EURUSD again, guys, is making a little pullback, nothing out of the ordinary. We're still well within our overall impulsive phase towards the downside, so I'll be looking for, to be honest, I'm not looking for scale wins. That would be a little bit funny to say. So I'm not looking for scale wins, but I'm looking for this just to head down lower throughout this New York session, or in towards the end of tomorrow, whatever. Could still push up and then head down lower. I'm, to be honest, perfectly fine with whatever, because I know and I have trust in my strategy that we should still head down lower. I do not see any reason for this because look, if we look here left, there's jack shit, right? There's nothing. Yo, Mitchell, how are you, brother? Hope you're doing good. But here left, there's nothing, right? So it doesn't make sense to kind of like make a full-blown reversal suddenly towards the moon. So let's not shit the bed. Let's not pee our pants. Let's just continue following the overall impulsive phase. Again, remember, when we look at history, guys, and we look at, for example, this previous bearish impulsive phase, right, that we had over here, right, so over here, where this, for example, was an impulsive phase. Then what happened there as well is, hey, here you have the break of structure line. Just before that break of structure line, what happened? Suddenly you see a reversal up, but then it just retraced into this supply, and then it headed down a lot lower. So who knows? The same could happen here on EURUSD, where we just retrace into this and then head down a lot lower. All I'm saying now is let's focus on common logic, or on pure logic, and to me it makes sense that we should take out these equal lows here, and that we should even take out maybe this low over here, right? And as well, if we look at the dollar index, we can see that the dollar index is still extremely bullish. There's nothing that says, hey, the dollar index is now going to make a full-blown reversal. Obviously, we've taken out liquidity, which can cause some manipulation or can cause a temporary pullback, but it still makes sense for this to continue pushing up higher. Now, NZD-USD, I kind of like flirted with her at the beginning of this live stream, but you guys know as well, the monthly and the free monthly open. Guys, who uses the monthly and the free monthly open on their chart? Let me know in the chat. I want to hear who uses the monthly and the free monthly open, guys, because I'm not gonna lie, but I think a lot of you know it as well. It is literally a glitch in the trading system, in the world of technical analysis, man. Sorry guys, I'm getting thirsty from all this talking, but those monthly and those free monthly opens, you guys, you know, if anybody ever talks about this stuff, like, you know who they have it from, right? Because this is literally a bloody magnet, man. This thing is now causing NZD-USD to drop really hard. And for myself, it still makes sense to take out a lot more of these ascending lows. Now, what is the next area of interest for myself? That would be this low here. So if I were to put a TP on NZD-USD, it would be this low, and then obviously the low after that is going to be pretty much this low over here. But this is the first low, and the reason why I have this low is because what happened is that it took out liquidity here to the left, and then it reversed up higher. And here you just have a low, 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 right? So that's kind of the difference between these lows and this low, and that's why this is then, for example, a good place to put your TP. So let's see. So question, how do you manage emotions when in an active position once the market makes a normal pullback? To be honest, to me, it comes obviously from having seen the market play out like for over literally 6 years now here on YouTube. I do the market outlook every single day, so I talk myself through the market, and it enables me to see the logic of the market, right? And at the end of the day, guys, what really helps me is just drawing in the pullback phase and the impulsive phase. When USD, for example, here, if we look at this chart, right, is in its impulsive phase, it's often extremely impulsive, right? So I understand that obviously sometimes you'll see like a little pullback or you'll see a bullish candlestick, but it's very likely that it's just going to continue pushing down lower, because when USD impulses, it impulses hard, right? You can see it every single time. Here, impulsive phase, here, impulsive phase, and then on the pullback phase, it's a little bit slower, or tends to be a little bit slower. So I'm just following those impulsive phases, and now again, I see there for USD to be potential for another impulsive phase. I got a lot of questions, Fabio, do you see it going to the yearly open? Well, I mean, yes, the overall market structure is bearish, right? We can clearly see that. Where are we trending, guys? Like, you do not need to be a fucking rocket scientist or have studied for this shit or have very massive brain. I mean, I'm not the smartest, but I can draw little lines here, and I can very clearly see that we're creating lower lows and lower highs, and we're rejecting the monthly free, monthly open. So where does it make sense for USD to head towards here, right? And then also, if we look at the fundamentals on the Forex fundamentals dashboard, I can see that the New Zealand dollar remains relatively weak when compared to the dollar. The dollar index is still bullish, so we don't overcomplicate. And then again, another way to kind of like make sense of what you see here for yourself and not to, again, kind of like get stressed or freak out is by not using a too tight stop loss. So what I saw a lot of people do, guys, and what I want you to really understand is that when you, for example, identified here liquidity, and I identified it as well, and you enter on, let's say, the 4-hour change of character after taking liquidity. So there was, for example, a 4-hour change of character here where you took out this liquidity high and then you saw like the change of character down and then you wanted to short it. Like, when you see that there is like a free monthly open here, like, don't short it with such a tight stop loss. Then just give it some more breathing room. And then you just scale in, for example. So you take the first position with a smaller lot size. And then from the free monthly open, that's when, for example, when you start to go bigger, right? Because then you can place your stop loss here above this strong high, which liquidated the high here to the left. And then you're going to have a much, much stronger position where you can, for example, scale in with a bigger lot size. And now you see, hey, that's when you're going to be in some good profit, right? So that's kind of like what I always tend to say about when you trade USD or whatever pair. Don't use a too tight stop loss too early, because then you're going to get screwed over. And now you see the impulsive phase start. So now I'm expecting there to be more momentum, and we should start to see the USD fall in towards the ground, and we can short it to what is hopefully going to be a very nice trade towards the yearly open. And again, we're early, so I could be wrong, but it does look good, and it makes sense from the higher time frame perspective. Makes sense from what I'm currently seeing here on price action wise. So I will be holding that trade for longer. Same goes for EURUSD. Equal lows still here. We're in the impulsive phase at the moment. Again, it's been a very choppy ride here, right? We were in a very choppy period due to FOMC, the interest rates in the United States being announced. What was Powell going to say? Then Powell said in his speech, guys, he literally said in his speech, interest rate cuts in December are not certain. Not certain in December. Interest rate cut. So what does an interest rate cut mean, guys? What happens when interest rates go down? Well, it means that people get less return, or percentage-wise, less return on their invested capital. So what happens? The currency itself becomes less interesting to put your money in. And then what do people do? They put their money from one currency into another. Now, it was more expected than not that there was going to be a rate cut in December. So suddenly the whole market sees, hey, interest rate cut is actually not confirmed. So maybe we're going to keep getting, let's say, I'm talking like in baby language now, guys, but like maybe we're not going to see like us get less return on our money in December. So let me hold my dollars, or let me buy dollars again. So then what do you see happening? You see the dollar appreciate in value. You see EURUSD start to drop again, right? After that FOMC speech, or after the speech of Jerome Powell. And then we have some nice positions. And that's, for example, also why USD JPY. And again, I've been talking about the USD JPY every single daily market outlook since mid-October, so for the past 2 weeks. And I was even saying that you have to be loco if you're trying to sell USD JPY. Really, I saw people try and sell USD JPY, and I was asking, like, man, I need that shit that you're smoking, because I need to see what you're seeing. I don't know, maybe you're having a bad trip or something. But guys, USD JPY was so clean, man. Again, when we have the impulsive phase, all we do is we mark out the liquidity low. Liquidity gets taken, first push up. Okay, so this was kind of like a nervous setup, right? This was not very, very clear but then when we got this impulse in towards the high, then it was extremely clear. Hey, guys, we're in a bullish market. We've broken out of this area of consolidation. We're starting to trend in towards the upside. That then in combination with the yen basket, guys, with the yen basket, what did we see? We tapped the yearly level and we start trending in towards the downside as well. I talked about this in the market outlook. Then all you do when in doubt, or when you just want to be simple and smart, you look at the higher time frame trend. We've been trending in towards the downside since April. So then again, what makes sense? You continue to look for sells. All you're simply doing is trading the overall order flow. So what we do is here, we have the supply zone. We tap the supply zone. We tap again the yearly open with a smoosh like that. We kiss her, and she loves us so much that she dumps us back in towards the ground. And then what happens? We see a fractal break in towards the downside. And then what happens? We retest the overall supply zone that is then created, and then boom, you sell that shit in towards the ground. And then when you look at USD JPY and you understand, hey, the dollar is actually bullish as well, you look at USD JPY, and what do you see, guys? What do we see? We see that the liquidity gets grabbed. And then the overall trend in towards the high starts to form again. We look here at the 0.5 fib hit, market structure, liquidity taken, and what else can I say? The yen basket aligning with the momentum, the dollar index was bullish, and then what you want to do, you want to scale in on the overall internal liquidation. So what do I mean with internal liquidation? Well, when we have an impulse in towards the highs here, when you can actually then look for potential scale wins. So let's say the first position that you take is after liquidating this low. Let's say it's somewhere here. I'm theoretically speaking, and you target a new higher high, and you want to get into kind of like a scale in position. The way that you then scale in is that you understand, okay, hey, USD JPY is an impulsive pair. Within the impulse, what do? I identify the liquidity lows. Here we have liquidity low. Here we have liquidity low. Here we have a liquidity low. Okay, what do I wait for? I wait for the liquidity low to get grabbed. Liquidity low gets grabbed. Then what do I wait for? I wait for the fractal confirmation, the thing that I preach to you guys every single day on Instagram, on YouTube, and the reason that I'm preaching it is because it is simple, it is effective, and I want everybody to be able to use it, because it's going to help you go from 80 to that 99% in your trading journey. And is what I always was missing. And then we liquidate that first low. Then what do we see? We see the bullish change of character. Jimmy milked the shit out of USD JPY, because he saw the far fractal break up, and then boom, he longed on that demand zone. And then that is where you have your skill in. And then, guys, that is how you make money trading. You keep it extremely, extremely simple. You don't try and give shit very strange names. Like, I'm not going to even say the names. They're so ridiculous. All you're doing is you're trading the overall momentum, the overall direction, understanding that something is trending in towards the upside. Then what do you wait for? You wait for the market structure to align with your analysis. And then you understand, hey, am I trading in the impulsive phase, or am I trading in the overall pullback phase? And then you just look for those liquidation entries, like I just said, in the impulsive phase if you missed out on, let's say, the first entry. As simple as that. That's what we do time and time over again. And that is already 99% of the whole thing. And then obviously that last percent is the hardest percent to ever complete in your whole trading career, because I understand as well that it's not as easy as I'm now preaching. Like, it sounds very easy when I talk about it, when I show it to you, but it's really not as easy as that, obviously. But that last 1% is by showing up every single day, being with me here on the live, watching what I'm doing, asking questions, being inside the Discord, sharing your analysis, talking to other traders out there, and then just being in positions and experiencing the stress, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the euphoria, so the happiness, but also the sadness of being in a position, the stress. Am I going to be able to eat steak tonight? Yes or no? Or am I even going to be able to eat, So these things are what you need to experience. And it's not as easy as, hey, here's the strategy. Because, guys, I preach the strategy every single day. You guys know how I trade. It's not rocket science, but having the actual balls then to execute, that is the difference between a very good analyst and a very fucking good trader, right? So then you might now be wondering, Fabio, I want to make money as well. What is then the next kind of like move that you're going to be making? So what are we now going to do? Now that I understand that USD might be in its impulsive phase here, I want my setup to form. So what am I going to look setup wise now to start forming on USD for a potential skill in? Okay, guys, let's see what that potential skill in could be. We go to the 1 hour time frame, and what I now want to see here is within the overall impulse, because look here on the 1 hour time frame, what you now have, right? And let me just remove all the lines just to make it extremely simple. It's no rocket science. Again, all we're simply going to be doing is understand, hey, here we are in our impulsive phase, and within that impulsive phase we need to form liquidity points. So what I would love to see is USD maybe retest somewhere this supply zone, then start to sell off, and then what we start forming, or it can already sell off like this, that would be even more nice. Please, Powell or Lagarde, make that happen. I would be very happy. Then we would use this as internal liquidity. Then what happens, we take out that liquidity, wait for the change of character, and then we sell again. That would be absolutely beautiful, and what I'm personally waiting for now on USD to get a potential skill in. If you are looking for a lower time frame setup on your USD, it would be something very similar, but your USD is already near the overall liquidity lows, so it's going to be a little bit more complicated to skill into that position as of now. So that's your USD. So I mean, I would only be in USD. I think USD is the better position, has more room, has more fundamental potential at the moment, and has so much more lows to kind of like still take out, and the momentum is there. So I'd love to see that happen on USD, what I just explained, guys. No need to spam the chat. I'll read everything. GBPUSD is a sell chip, guys, from myself. I'm not looking to trade GBPUSD anymore. For myself, it's now hit the over orange zone. It's liquidated massive lows. Like, it's made its move. That's not where the money lies. The money lies in other pairs which have been overperforming this week, such as, for example, USD. So why has an USD or an AUDUSD? So guys, don't spam the chat, because you are just, and again, I said at the beginning of the session, I'm not going to be annoyed with anybody spamming the chat, but somebody's starting to annoy me with US oil. So be quiet. So again, guys, what is now the overall game plan for the next trades? So that is an USD and an AUDUSD, okay? So I'm just going to press split chart here, and I'm going to open up USD for us, and I'm going to be opening up AUDUSD for us. So AUDUSD is a little bit less beautiful, in my opinion, than an USD. So I'd really prefer an USD. But what has happened is that throughout the week, we've seen NU push up higher and AU push up a lot higher as well. Now, these pushes up were all based on trade talk conversation between China and the United States. Okay, so now that actually the talks are over, right, it's now time for the actual fundamental move to start playing out, and for these pairs to potentially make a deeper push in towards the downside. Now, I must say AUDUSD is not as bearish as USD. If you look at the daily time frame, it's a massive difference, right? So if you look here at AUDUSD, it's more kind of like actually bullish, where I say, hey, this is the low, this is the high, we've liquidated this internal high, low, excuse me, and it now has the potential to even head up higher. Whereas if I look at an USD on the daily time frame, it's extremely bearish, right? A lot more bearish momentum. So I focus therefore on NZD/USD, and NZD has been overperforming this week in my opinion based on those trade talks, and everybody has been talking about, hey, China and the US are going to go and kiss and make out and be happy and make love. So buy NZD. That was kind of like the whole narrative this week at the beginning of the week, and that's why we're now seeing a bigger correction, liquidating all of those guys who were longing the overall trade talk narrative. And now I want to see the actual fundamentals play out, okay? So that's, for me, the next thing that I'm focusing on at the moment. Then another position, guys, USD CAD. This thing also kissed the absolute beauty of a monthly and a free monthly open. Nice 4-hour fractal break in towards the upside. This now looks good to potentially head up higher. It made a nice correction, and yeah, I like those longs. So if you're in those longs, you could stay in. UJ ship has sailed. I mean, we're above the breaker structure line, right? So the breaker structure line is obviously this line here. So you don't really want to be in this anymore because you're now currently in the orange zone, right? So if we look at the overall market structure that we have, where was the impulsive phase? Impulsive phase was until here, and now where are we trading at? We're trading within the orange zone. So let's say you're still in a UJ long, then you need to understand, hey, where am I trading? I go back to the daily. Then what's next? These liquidity highs, right? We have 3 liquidity highs here. So once one of those liquidity highs gets taken, then I expect a deeper pullback. And then obviously taking out this liquidity high here together with the yearly open, that could cause kind of like a nicer overall retracement back in towards the downside. USD/CHF, not really my preferred position because the Swiss franc is fundamentally relatively bullish. Also, USD/CHF is one of the few pairs actually that is also bearish from a market structure perspective. So I would not personally be trading USD/CHF at the moment until further liquidity above more highs is, well, you're in a long. In a way, you're fighting the trend, right? Because if we look at the 4-hour time frame here, you can clearly see as well, we had a breaker structure up, breaker structure down, swing high, swing low. We're now inside supply. We just liquidated some highs here. So USD/CHF, I mean, I'm not shorting it, but I'm also not looking to long it. Now, I know a lot of you also want to hear about N-Swiss, A-Swiss. Yes, guys, A-Swiss has the potential to start selling off in towards the downside. When we look at a daily time frame on AUD/CHF, obviously now we've retraced back to the monthly, free monthly open in towards the supply zone, and on the lower time frame being the 4-hour, we've also taken the internal liquidity over here. This is furthermore a relatively strong area of supply, and the reason being is because it liquidated this little range here. Okay, so you see kind of like the buy up and then a strong sell down, liquidating these highs. Therefore, that is strong supply. And here you've taken out liquidity, and we've hit the monthly, free monthly open, and we've seen a 4-hour change of character. So yes, this has potential to start dropping off, but I would not use a too tight stop loss. So don't place your stop loss here, but then think about placing your stop loss there, right? So think about that. Then, yes, I went to the gym today, Benjamin. N-Swiss, also nice, monthly, free monthly open rejection, taking out liquidity. So these pairs have now the potential to start selling off in my opinion as well. Yeah, correct. CAD-Swiss, also nice to look for potential sells. Just use a wider stop loss, nothing too tight. Yeah, those are looking good, man. And then let's wait for New York Open in around now / half an hour. That's when real volume should start to come in. So yeah, guys, any questions? Could you please explain your first position entry on NZD/USD? I thought you were going to wait for the break of the weekly. That's just for skill wins, Taco. That's for skill wins. Obviously, I cannot share every single position, but I'm working on something where I'll be sharing more about the positions that I'm taking. But more on that will be announced on Monday, guys. So make sure to be inside Discord, as Monday we're going to be announcing something fun about following the actual trades that I take. Easily trade repeat 100% and Jim. NU and GU move similar. I would say GU moves more similar to EU and NU moves more similar to AU. What's the opens indicator? Daily, weekly, monthly, yearly opens by SBT and C. GJ, I mean, GPJPY is a difficult one because the yen is bearish, but the pound is bearish as well. So I'm not really going to, or like GJ is not a preferred pair to really be in my opinion. It's more bullish than bearish, but it's not a pair that I like to be in at the moment. It's not for me. So yeah, no opinion on that. Euro yen, extremely bullish, right? So against the euro, yeah, I mean, you could buy it. I mean, look how weak the pound is. Euro GBP flying. Euro yen still bullish, so just look for reaccumulation and liquidation. Guys, questions. Did you talk about gold? No, I didn't really talk about gold because gold, I mean, is a complicated one in the sense that it's not the cleanest. I don't really feel in sync with gold, if I'm very honest. I know a lot of you love gold, but gold is just not kind of like my baby, like the dollar pairs are, man. We took out some major liquidity. Then again, within this overall impulse down, we took out this little liquidity high here. That caused the overall retracement last night / yesterday. But it looks good to continue its overall leg up higher. I'm still bullish on gold. It's just not something that I find very clear. I would have preferred a little bit of a push lower towards the monthly free monthly open, and then from there I would have looked for a long. But I mean, at the same time, it does look good to head up higher still, but the real longs for me will kind of like start once we break above this, and then I'll look to skill in again towards those all-time highs. USD CAD we already discussed, still bullish. Euro, I would prefer an USD USD. How fast are you on your 10k run? I do around 4 minutes 50, I would say, per kilometer. So I don't know how much time that is, but I think like 50 minutes or something, maybe shorter. 45 minutes, something like that. Euro USD, still bearish on Euro USD, guys. Nothing has changed on Euro USD. We are still bearish, guys. One kind of like pullback candle after a big fat candle down. Don't let your emotions control you. We are still bearish. We're still in the impulsive phase down. We've seen a break of structure in towards the downside. Even if it comes above this high here, I would look to maybe skill in on another 1 hour fractal breakdown again. So yeah, I'm still bearish on Euro USD, guys. But if it comes up here, then there would be potential for another Euro USD short position. Thoughts on CAD Swiss? Lucas sells on that. NZ USD sell setup coming? Yes. If it gives us the sell setup, 100%. Let's see. I would love for it to start selling off again. Internal liquidity, and then I'll look for this, and then sell here. That's the sell that I'm really waiting for, man. That's my favorite sell. But why the market, especially the USD, reacted so weird? So where did the interest rate doesn't make sense? Why does it make sense? Bodla. We might get a short trade on NU when you're still alive. No, I don't think so, because I don't really like entering. But yeah, I mean, the weekly open could act as resistance. German 40, I think we're looking for shorts on that. You can check inside Discord. Julian trades a lot of German 40. For me, it's a little bit consolidative, but yeah, it's a little bit consolidative. But I mean, for now, immediate market structure is bearish, so looks more like a short for now. Let's see if NU plays out. Fantastic, Lucas. Let's hope, man. Let's hope that it starts moving down lower again. Euro AUD shorts. Let's have a look at Euro AUD. Yeah, makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, man. Euro AUD still has this low open. Yeah, Euro AUD should still head down lower. It just liquidated this high here. Liquidated that yesterday. Yeah, I mean, this is a strong supply zone because it liquidated here to the left. So yeah, looks good, man. Obviously, we would have preferred it to align with the monthly free monthly open, but it does look good for a short position. Fabio, can you tell me how to stop over trading? Trade the higher time frame, because then it's impossible to you can't really overtrade when you trade the higher time frame. How long you spend years to become like today trader? Around 6 years. 2019, back in COVID times, man. The good but bad old days. How much max allocation with TTP? $400,000. Can you do a top-down analysis on NU? We already did. Yeah, GP pairs have made their moves, so I wouldn't really be looking to trade those anymore. I think like the main potential is like CAD Swiss, A Swiss, N Swiss, waiting for momentum to come back on those, and then a further skill in on NZD USD. That is also what I'm waiting for, further skill in on NZD USD. Euro USD potentially as well, but we need to see how it forms. And yeah, I think Euro USD and NZD USD are the two main pairs, man, that I'm focusing on. Oil, I see there to be some more upside. Also for copper, anybody who trades copper, guys, also see that to be potential once it liquidates. Let me quickly check. Yes. So on copper, I don't know if anybody trades it, but you can trade it with prop firms. Look at this daily demand zone, and then right above that you have some nice lows. So Once the lows get swept, so more specifically kind of like this low here, that's when I would be looking for a new potential long position. Yeah, that's when I would be looking for a new long position. Are you looking to trade Bitcoin? Not really. Yeah, NZD Swiss looks good for shorts. Spread on copper is huge. I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, for the rest, that's pretty much it, guys. ADJPY. Remember this one from the last stream or from last week? Not sure. I hope you guys have been seeing that one. That one was a beautiful example of how we trade, guys. Remember here on the yearly open, then it liquidates the fake demand zone again, because this demand zone, initial buyers, but there's no liquidity in the push up, liquidates them, and then the real push up happens. And then here I think you could have gotten in on like the 4-hour order flow. Some very nice scenes. CAD Swiss, yeah, I agree, Lucas, with you as well. What is the Forex fundamentals dashboard? You can check out forexfundamentals.com. How long before you became a profitable trader? Around 2.5 years. Check DXY, bro. Yes, DXY has potential for retracement. CAD Swiss, I agree, Loney, has potential for shorts. Silver and NAS. Yeah, I mean, they should head up higher, though I just don't like this low here. I would prefer to take out that low and then look for long. Silver looks good to continue pushing up higher. I like that it touched the monthly and the free monthly open, and it took out the liquidity here of the equal lows. You see, this is the absolute butter and bread and butter setup. I mean, lol. Change of character, monthly, free monthly open, major liquidity, and then from there it heads up higher, and that should take out this high here. So yeah, oh, beautiful, 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 beautiful. USD not looking to trade that at the moment. I think there's better opportunities on other pairs to trade dollar long, such as on an NZD USD. Let's see where the dollar ends up today. Waiting for the 4-hour candle close. Again, 1 hour, guys, look at it. It is still looking good, still looking bullish. Let's focus on the New York session. Let's see if we can get some more dollar bulls come into the markets, and just follow the overall market structure and see a strong daily candle close. That would be fantastic, guys. EURUSD in a long position? No, I don't agree with your USD longs, man. When did you start learning trading? Back in 2019. Even 2017 I was like into crypto, but I think like really seriously starting to learn about trading was 2019. Fabio, what would you tell the people who start algo trading the same entry that you do? I'm not sure if I understand your question. Blo, please teach us how to refine order blocks. Yeah, guys, I think what's important about order blocks is that, and what you need to understand is that order blocks happen everywhere, right? We can identify supply and demand zones literally everywhere within a market. Like, what's the reason that this supply zone, for example, doesn't do shit? Because this here is a beautiful buy up before a sell down that broke market structure, right? But why does nothing happen? Why does the market not push further in towards the downside, right? Like, for example, when we get also into this supply zone, like you see an initial reaction, but there's no real follow through in towards downside. And why is that? Well, guys, that's because the market moves from liquidity point to liquidity point. And it may sound like I'm talking like a little bit about crazy stuff, but I mean it in the perspective of all you are simply doing every single time is looking to identify liquidity together with market structure. So the main focus should always be, okay, let's say here we have the impulsive phase down, right? This is a strong impulsive phase in towards the downside, okay? I'm never going onto a chart and thinking, okay, where is my supply zone, right? Because if you draw in the supply zone, like this would be your supply zone, right? Now, obviously this works, but then you're going to get very nervous when looking at the supply zone, because here, for example, in the bearish candlestick, you would say, hey, I can enter maybe here, and then you hit stop loss. So what you're simply going to be doing every single time over and over again is just understanding, okay, this here is the overall impulse in towards the downside. Within that impulse, you want to identify liquidity. So for example, on this high here, I have liquidity on this high here, I have liquidity, right? So on these two highs, these are my two major liquidity highs. And all you are simply doing is waiting for the liquidity high to get grabbed in line with the market structure. Then what you wait for the change of character in your direction. That is when you start to identify supply zones. Supply zones that take out liquidity, like this one over here, those are very, very strong. And then you have a supply zone that will actually play out and kind of like provide you with a trade setup like this one. Okay, so that should be the main focus. Never go into a chart, say, hey, where do I have a supply zone? Because then you're going to end up taking a lot of losses. Identify the liquidity and then understand that a supply or demand zone that is then created by liquidating a low or a high, that is actually going to be the area of supply that you are going to want to trade from. So guys, I want to wish you all an amazing, amazing Thursday afternoon, evening, or morning from wherever you are in the world. I'm not gonna lie, I am extremely hungry. I have not eaten anything yet today. 15 minutes before the session, I thought, hey, I actually have to eat something. So my stomach, I don't know if you guys can hear it on the stream, but it's like going like, that's not the best, like in Dutch you say borrelen. It's not the best bubbling. I don't know the English word for it, like when your stomach makes a sound. So I have to eat something, man. But yeah, guys, no, really, the last piece of the puzzle that I want to give you guys is keep it simple. Indeed, some of you also see it. It's crazy how simple it is. Trading is simple. You don't need to overcomplicate it. It's not about getting more and more confluences. It's literally as simple as just identifying a trend, looking for a high and a low, and then waiting for the change of character. Like by simply doing that, you can make a shit ton of money. So then the next step is actually showing up every single day, talking to me, being active with me inside Discord, following the analysis and understanding what I'm looking for, what you're looking for. Share your ideas, and that's when you're going to make the real progress, okay? Fabio, where are you from? I was born in London, but I am half Brazilian, half Dutch, and I now am in Amsterdam. Guys, thank you so much. Have chicken tikka. Yeah, if there was a good Indian place here in Amsterdam, I would have had some chicken tikka, but I don't know a place. If anybody knows a good Indian restaurant here in Amsterdam, let me know, man. Fabio, can you reveal your recent payout to us, please? Yeah, I might share some stuff. I already shared today that I'm up 12K. I think it's now sitting at around 14K. So I'll share some screenshots, but it's all about the actual value in the charts and not about the monetary gains that I make. Like, if you guys want me to flex cars, money, payouts, watches, let me know. I'd love to, but that's not the focus. Brasileiro, sim, David, sim. Eu sou brasileiro. My father was born in Sao Paulo. Come to Mumbai. Definitely one day I'll be in India, guys. We're going to do a world tour, maybe next year, guys. We're going to visit all of Asia. We're going to go to Latin America. I'll be in Latin America for Christmas. Anybody in South America and Latin America, let me know. I'll be in Brazil and Argentina in December. I'm also going to be in Brazil probably next month in November. So, yeah, maybe if you guys are there next month in Brazil, let me know and we can meet up. But yeah, who knows, guys? Maybe I'll flex. Maybe I'll flex one day, man. Do you speak Portuguese, Sim? Eu falo. Mas now, like, not fluent. I speak. I have like 3 classes a week of Portuguese. Please give one trade that is the highest probability now. Ends the USD shorts. But obviously you need to wait for a good entry. Guys, thanks again for joining. I'm going to go and eat, have some good lunch. I want to say a massive thank you again for just being here, showing up, and again, just make sure to be active inside Discord. On Monday I'm going to announce how you can follow some of these swing trades as well with me, and join me in trading. Okay, so guys, thanks again for joining. Wish you all a fantastic day, and we will speak very, very soon. Have an amazing day, guys. Ciao, and thanks for joining as always, and thanks for the support, and thanks for the love.